deeply rooted in both. The heavy-handedness of it feels like someone insisted that Blizzard make an example of Blitzchung, not only to discourage others from similar acts in the future, but also to appease those upset by the outburst itself. That kind of appeasement is simply not something I can in good conscience be associated with. When I learned about the ruling, I reached out to Blizzard and informed them that I no longer feel comfortable casting the Grandmasters Finals at BlizzCon. I will not be a smiling face on camera that tacitly endorses this decision. Unless something changes, I will have no involvement in Grandmasters moving forward. And then finally, he emphasized that not everyone has the luxury to be able to do that. Not all casters and streamers and employees at Blizzard can afford to partake in this kind of protest, so he asked that people don't lambaste those people, because ultimately it is an up to casters, streamers, and kind of ground floor employees at Blizzard to make these kinds of decisions, and I think that's a great sentiment. I think this was extremely well said, and given BMK Gaming's prominence in the esports and Blizzard scene, I think this statement will certainly spread and make a big impact. Next up, I want to bring this up again, the college Hearthstone players who, during an official college Hearthstone tournament, put up this sign right here that reads "Free Hong Kong" and "Boycott Blizzard." Turns out that website Vice reached out to these students to ask them about their thoughts on this whole situation, and here is how Vice reported on that. So here's a quote from 19-year-old college student Casey Chambers, one of the 3 American University team members on the stream, and he said this: "I have 15,000 rounds of Hearthstone. I am done. The game we lost last night was my last game of Hearthstone ever." And then it reads right here, all 3 on the stream, Casey, 19-year-old, Corwin Dark, and another player who wanted to go by their online handle, T-Jammer, felt the same about Blizzard's response to Blitzchung. So Dark here said, "When we met for practice that day before the tournament, we were all thinking the same thing, that we wanted to do something. Because obviously we were the first thing on Blizzard's stream after they made the decision. If we did nothing, we were missing a pretty big opportunity." Dark also added, "We liked that because it would force Blizzard to either pan away from our camera," which they actually did, "or cut our camera off," which they did a little bit during the match. And then the article further extrapolated on the situation with this paragraph: "None of them have heard from Blizzard about what happened, though at some point the company will have to talk. On Thursday, they're supposed to continue forward in the tournament. Either way, they don't plan to continue playing in the tournament, but they do want Blizzard to make the decision to kick them out and ban them because of their protest." So basically, these college protesters, they're still in the tournament, but they're wondering if Blizzard will actually go out of their way to officially ban them, which would be extremely bad optics. And even if Blizzard decides not to ban them, according to the college students here, they're not going to play in the tournament anyway, because they want to express support for Blitzchung and protest against Blizzard. And then Chambers right here added, "Us getting banned is probably the correct decision, but what's so disconcerting about the Blitzchung situation is that it wasn't just a fine, it wasn't just a 1-week suspension from Grandmasters, it was, you're gone, everything you've earned up until now is gone, and oh, by the way, the 2 casters who just happened to be on the stream while his protests took place are also fired." And then Dark added, "It was clearly designed to send a message to somebody." And that's literally exactly what BMK Gaming said right here, and that's the sentiment that just about everyone has when looking at this whole situation just from an outside perspective. All right, so now let's move on to Rod Bruslow, who has been kind of on top of this whole situation. He's been a major figure in just spreading the news about all this. He is an esports consultant, and he's just been partaking in interviews with various news outlets. And one of the outlets that Rod Bruslow did an interview with was Yahoo Finance, and there was some interesting exchange here that I think is worth highlighting. So let's check out this segment that I feel people should know more about.
But has this created an opportunity for Epic Games, for example? Because they're saying, you know what, we're not going to do this to any of our gamers. You can say whatever you want. You can have your political opinions. As an American, we're not going to penalize you for that.
Yeah, no, I saw this story this morning, and I got to say, not totally convinced yet.
Me neither.
By Epic's statements. I mean, I cover Epic for a living, and I see what they're doing. I think it definitely was an opportunity for them, while Activision Blizzard's getting kicked around for the past 48 hours, for them to get some pot shots in about how they would never do such a thing. But everyone should remember that the company that you mentioned, Tencent, really is the key in all of this. Tencent 100% owns Riot, and they own League of Legends. They own 45% of Epic Games, which is Fortnite. They own 5% of Activision Blizzard. They own 10% of Ubisoft. They own 50% of PUBG. They own pretty much half of the entire gaming community on top of being the main partner of the NBA. So one company, if you think about all the conglomerates like Google or Facebook or whatnot, this company, Tencent, really owns all of our major companies, and that's how much power they have and why a lot of the American companies don't have the leverage that they want to.
Yeah, or like early pieces of some of our major companies.
Yeah, so that was a great rundown of just how many companies are significantly influenced by the Chinese market. How many of these game companies are at least in part owned by these Chinese conglomerates, and the kind of dangerous precedent that all sets. And then Rod Broslow tweeted this segment from Fox News, and regardless of what your thoughts might be about Fox News, the fact of the matter is that when it comes to this issue, the more the word can spread to as many people as possible, the better. And from what I saw in this clip, the issue was summarized and highlighted pretty well. So yeah, word's getting around. The fact that all of these media outlets that are outside of the realm of games are covering this goes to show that this is no longer just a niche gaming controversy. This has now become an international incident that's garnered the attention of the general masses outside of the gaming crowd. So this is just a much bigger story than I think Blizzard ever anticipated, the Blizzard higher-ups, that is, who made the decision to suspend Blitzchung. So yeah, this is an updated look at what's been happening since Blizzard suspended Blitzchung and essentially pull the pin of what I can only describe to be a nuclear PR grenade. It'll be interesting to see how Blizzard and or Activision respond, if they do that at all. And with BlizzCon right around the corner, they have to say something, because otherwise that event is going to be disastrous. They're not just going to be able to host that event and pretend like nothing's happened. They will not be able to host that event without addressing the elephant, no, the dinosaur in the room. So let me know in the comments below what your take is on all of this, on these recent developments. Let me know how you think Activision Blizzard will handle this situation. Let me know how you think BlizzCon will go. Do you expect that to go smoothly, or do you expect that less than a month from now people will not forget? Drop a comment below, whatever thoughts and opinions you have, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
What? Those are your best characters.
No, it's not. I use the touch.
Oh, now you want to use the touch. I was using the touch.
I want to use the touch. But she. I don't see how I do this one.
Later, let me try to wing with my team today.
You got a long button to get out of that. We're triangle next came in his mind.
You're running like you're running toward Area 51. No, nothing. Is that dead? Alright, I think it's just a little bit.
How'd you get a sub? Put that phone away, artist. He's on my phone. He likes to see all his phones and what phone? Ooh. jumped from one part. So I said like this and I was on the block. Coming down. I saw it on where that happened. I think it's because you have to jump twice. You don't jump twice, you don't make it. What? There's no way to predict that. You are going to come behind me somehow anyway. I went.
Don't knock me down there. Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die. Let's do this.
No, it does. One more round. We gotta go. Shit. Bro, we'll do that. Alright, I want you to choose the best team. Do something else. That wasn't the best team. No, the sauce game. Sauce game. And then you chose Naruto and D. No, you choose the MD. You want me to drink more of these? Dragon Ball Z. You have 7 ones on me? And I don't think that you're bored. That's not true. I don't know why I was not under it before. They're just getting me.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. Oh, what a fucking sack. That's a forward pass to a fucking lineman, as far as I know. I'm alone in New York. Alone in New York. Got your head in the oven. Alone in New York. You feeling no lovin'. I'm watching James Madison versus Stony Brook. They're ranked 2 and 24th, and I don't know what division. There's 52 seconds left. It's 38-35. This is what you do on a rainy fucking Thursday. I can't believe how much it fucking rains here in New York. I never remember that shit. How the fuck did you take that You got to feel they don't feel the pressure, Division 2. It's a goddamn problem. It's actually Wednesday when I'm recording this, Wednesday afternoon. And this is it right here, 4th and 14. He fades back to pass. He throws the fucking ball, and it's caught at the 50-yard line. Give it to him. Give it to him. 16 seconds to go. The clock is stopped. They're still running up to the line. Just in case you missed out on the exciting end to James Madison versus Stony Brook. He just downed the fucking ball, and the clock wasn't even moving. A little home cooking there. Little bit of home cooking. Yeah, it rained on Monday. It rained today, Wednesday, all goddamn day, and I don't have any rain gear. Because I'm a big Hollywood phony, and I live out in the desert out there in Los Angeles. So, I don't know, it's fucking annoying. Beautiful, beautiful, lush landscaping back here. Landscape. Back here on the East Coast. All right, here's the final play. Once again, in the shotgun. Number 4 fades back to pass. Wide fucking open. Right down the seam, right down to the 29-yard line. There's 9 seconds left. The clock keeps stopping. What is this? Does it stop under 2 minutes? The referee's got his hand on the guy's fucking head, and he hikes the ball, and he fucking spikes it. No time went off the clock. I've never seen that before in my life. Somehow this guy spiked the ball in less than any time that could be registered. 9 seconds left. They got a shot at the end zone. See, I'm telling you right now, you guys are sleeping. Sleeping on Division 2. Oh, God, hear this guy coming in. He's got a fucking tattoo already. Would you look at that? These goddamn kids today. This guy's lining up. What the fuck yard line were they on? 30 plus 10 plus 8. 48-yarder. Boom. Right down the center. That's a tie fucking score, everybody. More Division 2 action coming at you days after the game happened here on the fucking Monday morning pod. And then Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning pod. Look at all the happy grandfathers in the stands. Hey, remember when this was Division 1 and it was all white people? And you never threw the ball. You did the old razzle-dazzle. Speaking of which, your New York Yankees have advanced to the ALCS, and they are awaiting the winner of the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Tampa Bay Rays. We don't want to offend anybody down there in Florida. I don't want no devil in my team. Even though I fed my ex-wife to a gator. I don't need no devil in the Nationals pastime team name. Look at this. This is how fucked up this division is. The field goal kicker is number 50. He's got a linebacker number. And he gets hugged by a lineman who's 55. Doesn't make any sense. Cheerleaders with Division II dance moves. I mean, the whole thing. There just really is a hierarchy. I tell you, when you can see the tree line over your fucking bleachers, that's when you know. Not the NFL dream's over. I'm not even saying that. You got some more steps to take. I actually love these fucking stadiums. Little ass stadiums. You know, the one somebody got up behind you to walk up to the bathroom because you just hear the sound of aluminum siding being stepped on as they climb up the fucking stairs. They go with an onside kick, everybody, which is handled by number 90, who's either a wide receiver or a fucking lineman. Bumps into his own guy, little skip step, and he goes down, and that'll be the end of regulation. James Madison. Action. I'm buying for this job right now. I want to sit in on one of these games and do some color commentary. Throwing that out there right now. As long as I get 2 free tickets to the fucking game. Well, I guess I'll be commentating. I'll be sitting right in the announcer's booth, right? Anyway, we're waiting. I am, as a baseball fan, I am awaiting the matchup that I said was going to be there way back, when the Red Sox made their last attempt to catch up with the Yankees, and they couldn't do it this year. Boo-hoo to me, right? What, are they going to win it every fucking year? I don't give a shit, all right? I just want to see some great baseball. So I wanted to see the Yankees versus the Astros. Right? The Astros were up 2-0, just like the New York Yankees. But unlike the New York Yankees, the Astros did not finish off the Tampa Bay former Devil Rays, now the Rays, possibly the future Montreal Expo Devil Rays. Gossett Jr., whatever the fuck they're going to call him. They lost game 3. All right, whatever. What are you going to do? Let's come back, game 4 and win it. And they lost game 4 convincingly. Both games. So now it's do or fucking die. They're going back to Houston. Extra plane ride as the Yankees rest. So now I was sitting there thinking, with no baseball knowledge whatsoever, that, considering Houston won it 2 years ago and last year came damn close to get, I don't know, we did all right against them, but I thought they were a real tough team. And they were probably pissed that they lost to us, that they were going to come out with some fire here in the playoffs, right? And that they were going to face off against the Yankees, and I felt that I was going to see an epic series. Now, goddamn it, Houston! Don't make a fucking liar out of me here. I don't know. I don't give a shit if the Rays, the holy Rays, if they win. Okay, I just want to see a great fucking series. I love October baseball, and I think the winner is coming out of the fucking American League, unless the Astros and Yankees both choke, meaning the Devil Rays fucking go to the World Series. Then I feel like, but you never know about St. Louis. St. Louis is always in there. I don't know anybody on any team. I'm just going by in the past history. They always seem to fucking win one every few years. They're actually number 2 all time with 10 World Series championships. I basically don't have any stats to back up anything that I just said. All right, so I'm going to watch the game. I watched the end of the Yankees, the clincher. I watched it in this bar, and I walk in the bar, there was like nobody there, right? Which is always great. But there was 4 people, 2 Twins fans and 2 Yankee fans, making enough noise for a crowded bar. And I don't know why they didn't get thrown out. I'm just assuming that it was because it was such a light night. Anybody in there spending money was welcome. And absolutely just fucking screaming at each other. Screaming. Let's go, Yankees, Yankees. Like sitting right next to each other, just screaming. And the Twins fans were like, they like older than me, screaming that loud. So I go in there, I get my little fucking club soda, sitting with Buddy, and we're watching it. And I'm just fucking laughing our asses off. And when the Yankees poured it on in the end to just put the game away, and they were panning to all the sad Twin fans in the crowd, this fucking Yankee fan was going, "Oh, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it." Just fucking dying laughing. He was being such a fucking dick. It was hilarious. And then he started trashing Tom Brady, which I also thought was fucking funny. I don't know why. I guess, because they win it all the fucking time. I don't know. He started making fucking fun of Tom Brady, so it was hilarious. And whatever. We're watching the end of the game, and then all of a sudden there was like this commotion, and the bouncers came in, and I don't know which guy. I think they were throwing the Yankee guy out. He finally...
I spoke a little bit about this already on Kyle and Corin, and
was stolen. I should have had you at least one combo.
Like laugh, lighting up over your head. You're supposed to ha 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 ha.
There is no
But in the ghetto, I'm gonna let it go because if I talk about this, YouTube's gonna get me for drug paraphernalia. Anyway, Ubisoft's Ghost Wildlands has come out. And beforehand, if you bought the Special Edition, the Ultimate Edition, and the Tickle Your Nuts Edition, you could play the game earlier than all the other scrubs who only bought the base model version of the game. The fact that you could spend upwards of $100 for an Ultimate Edition of a game and still have Ubisoft sell you a ridiculous amount of microtransactions is utterly disgusting. The game is already a dick in the nut, is what it cost you. And still, they're like, hold on there, little guy. Hold on. Maybe, just maybe, you'd like some of these time savers. Really, dude? Time savers in a game? I'm not here to save time. I'm here to kill time. You know, most of the stuff that's in this game is microtransactions crap. And back before I woke up to the whole microtransactions garbage, I did play the Simpsons phone game when it first came out on iPhone way back, like iPhone 4, we're going ways back. And it was a cool game, but in order to do anything, you had to spend money or wait like a day or two. It was utterly ridiculous. And I can't remember, but I might have bought a $5 pack just so I could see the town get built a little sooner. The whole point of this stuff is to try and coax you into spending money under the guise of, well, you don't have to buy it, but it's there. And it's alluring. It is. You don't have to do drugs. But if you got a little high, the day would go by a little better. My God, I remember working in like this warehouse, and this dude, he would come into work, this new guy. He didn't last long. They fired him because he was working while drunk. At no point did they say working in the warehouse, technically you weren't supposed to get loaded. But the guy was a good worker. He just needed a little buzz on to get through. In fact, it was genius. What was wrong with blasting a little bad company and getting lit? It's not like the job was fun. It's not like the job was interesting. It was mind-numbing. Jesus Christ. And let's face it, Ghost Recon's breaking point is most likely mind-numbing. Granted, I didn't play the game, I'll be real with you, but the last one I did get a little taste of, and let's face it, Ubisoft don't change much, baby. If you played the last Wildlands, you kind of played this one, and if you saw the microtransactions in the last Wildlands, you know what's in this one, and technically it is. The Redditor Blink8704, not to be confused with Blink182, who was at TwitchCon, and my God, was that performance sad. I didn't even know the lead singer was the lead singer. I was like, who's this fat, bloated, sweating white man? Where's the young guy who was in Blink-182? Well, apparently, he was eaten by this dude. It's not even like Blink-182 does any, like, falsettos. He's sweating his ass off, barely doing anything. Whatever, that's a whole different rant. Well, anyway, Blinky here let everyone know that Ghost Recon's was full of just disgusting microtransactions. The hell is this? But what are these? Breaking points? What are these for? As a thank you for your purchase, get the eye patch. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for buying the special edition of Wildland. Oh, you need the breaking points to buy cosmetics? Dude, if I read this and it's as wacky as I think it is, I'll lose my damn mind. Oh, he bought the Ultimate Edition. As I bought the Ultimate Edition, I am able to access the game right now. I've taken screenshots of the store in the game. Most cosmetic items are bought with ghost coins in store. Figures such as wolves and other individual armor pieces are all only purchasable with ghost coins. Yeah, like Rainbow Six Siege. There's a game that like came out buggy and they turned it around and then they just load it with microtransactions. You can't get anything cool unless you spend money or play that game like it's your full-time job. This really pisses me off. In the closed and open beta, the items are all misleadingly labeled locked to make sure people won't have a bad impression thinking they can grind these armor pieces in game. Yeah, God forbid we actually think, oh, don't worry, you know, the microtransactions, they're optional. That's what people say. It's optional. Stop whining, you cuck. Oh, you libretard. It's just good business. It's capitalism. Yeah, they're capitalizing on your asshole every day, and you're screaming, "Fist me, daddy." Point B, it figures it's set up like that so people can defend the game and go, "Oh, well, it's only optional. You can unlock it if you grind your life away in this game." I'm sorry, some people got things to do, like take out the trash, figure out why their sister rusted the bottom of the damn car to death somehow, and the car barely moved. I'm projecting again. Point being, people got lives. Nobody got time to grind shit out. And the sad fact is, they're now removing the ability to grind shit out. Items are also overpriced. A single cosmetic item costs an average of $6. Camos such as the multi-cam are only found on Golem Island, basically the endgame raid island. This is despicable. Really, you're surprised Ubisoft would do this. Remember when they put out their whole slideshow showing how they're going to release less games every year, but they're going to focus on established franchises, and their main goal is going to be microtransactions? And this is because Rainbow Six Siege. Once Ubisoft got the formula for Siege right, it only took them years. They then started making money off of microtransactions. When the microtransactions did so well, Ubisoft all of a sudden was like, "Oh, we can do multiple season passes, and we can have multiple things people can buy, costumes and all this tomfoolery. $6 for a goddamn cosmetic that it's like a virtual bullshit item. It has no value. You can't resell it, and once the next Ghost Recon comes out, it's money lost. It is useless trash. It really is. My God, look at this. All these bundles. All this capitalizing on monetization at every turn. And there's absolutely no shame in it. Beyond Good and Evil is going to be like this too. The microtransaction stuff is ridiculous. Oh, you can buy attachments. That's nice. That's just great. What other garbage you can buy? Shirts. I don't care much about shirts. That reminds me. I know this is a weird rant, but Far Cry 5 wasn't the most recent one. I went through all that trouble grinding through that game to get gold bars to buy stuff, because you can technically buy cosmetics with gold bars in game rather than buying the stuff. But once you reached end game, I lost all my gold bars. They're just gone. That's why I stopped playing Far Cry 5. That pissed me off. I was like, well, I guess I'll buy some more stuff with my gold bar. Where are they? Huh? Thanks, Ubisoft. I don't even know why I bought that garbage. Probably because it's still in spend. God, there isn't a damn thing you can't buy in this game. You know what you can't buy? A good game. That's what you can't buy. I saw Kroby Cat make fun of this game, and I was like, wow, Ghost Recon looks bad. And I didn't even realize it had all this microtransaction garbage in it. Well, on the plus side, it's tiny little victories, am I right? Ghost Recon removes Breaking Point Booster Pack and skill microtransactions. And I quote, "The Time Saver bundles weren't meant to be available just yet." Really, Queen? How did they become available? Did the game become sentient? Like Skynet, except instead of wanting to exterminate all humans, it wanted to empty people's bank accounts, not kill them. Jeff Bezos' wet dream, am I right? Amazon? This article reads, it came to light that there are an awful lot of microtransactions available for purchase through the in-game store. Most of the stuff up for grabs is cosmetics and accessible through gameplay. But there are also time savers, including bundles, skill points, crafting materials, weapon upgrades that have direct impact to the game, blah, 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 obviously. It doesn't seem to be all that terribly different from Ghost Recon's Wildlands, what did I say earlier, which also offers booster packs, supplies, and skill points for sale. And look how dead that game is. Look how that game died so fast, and it didn't even have online co-op, which I thought was done, didn't it? I forgot. It's like they got the online co-op figured out later or some crap, I forgot. Then no Zill and the gang were playing it. They're like, oh yeah, the online co-op is working now. And I'm like, yeah, months after release, they could suck my dick. Nonetheless, their presence did not go over well. Quite a few commentators on the thread, many of whom expressed very strong in their opinions that microtransactions, particularly boosters and skill point bundles, don't belong in a premium price game. Exactly. The game starts at $60 and goes up to what, $120 for these stupid tchotchkes? This is why gaming sucks right now, dude. It used to be that the gaming industry was about putting out the best game that year. Like, all the game companies were competing to earn your money. They were out to get your dollar because they knew most people could only buy maybe 2 or 3 games a year, so you had to make sure your game was a must-have game a year. Not anymore. Now it's like they put out a broken, buggy mess, and then they load it with microtransactions, and then they're shocked to find people are displeased with it. Basically, the new Ghost Recon's Wildlands, what is this, Breaking Point? I'm saying Wildlands because, frankly, it is the next Wildlands. This is going to become Wildlands. We're going to forget about this in like 2 months. It'll be like the game never existed. Good work, Ubisoft. You just anthemed your game. By the way, speaking of Anthem, it's now on EA Access. Whoopee! Like you give a rat's ass, am I right? Anthem. Great idea for a game, so poorly executed it was appalling. On top of that, Anthem delays its entire roadmap. It hasn't fixed loot, and this feels very, very bad. Anthem's dead. Alright, it's over. This news came out just a little while ago. Well, actually, the Anthem roadmap being ditched was back in April. That was a clear sign that the game was toast. And then at the beginning of September, it was then moved to EA Access. It's now a Ghost game. It's over. And Wildlands will be much the same. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to play it on Google Stadia or whatever when it comes out. Microtransactions, annual releases, and very limited titles. There's no new ideas, there's no new creativity, there's no nothing. I hate to say it, but PlayStation seems to be the only one spearheading new stuff at least. Single-player focused games. They don't really surround themselves in microtransactions. It's a dark day for gaming. You know, I know no major gaming developers will hear this because, frankly, I'm Satan in the eyes of many on YouTube, including to YouTube. But let me give you a bit of advice. If you make something genuinely good, people will buy it in droves. People will love it. People will defend it. People will follow it. Everybody needs something to believe in. Everybody needs something good in life, something to look forward to. Whether it be video games, painting, your hobbies, motorcycles, cars, maybe even movies, I don't know. It's hard to say. But there just needs to be some sort of quality brought back into the gaming industry rather than blind chasing microtransactions. Rockstar Games does make good games, but their focus on online microtransactions is stifling what could be great in the sense of after
I always thought there was a girl in here for a
story
moment.
DLCs for Grand Theft Auto games, and there doesn't seem to be any insight for Red Dead Redemption 2. The focus shouldn't be on blind capitalism as far as gaming goes, finding new ways to exploit your players. You're only ruining yourself. In time, people will leave. It's happened with me. I spent more on paint than I spent on video games in years because there's a simple joy there. I know what I'm getting with the paint. There isn't some special unlock bonus when I open up the jar and mix it with my thinners. And the paint says, hey, asshole, for an extra $5, I'll go on super smooth. You know? And at least there's still CD Projekt Red. It's kind of funny. It's like The Witcher came out, all of a sudden all the other gaming companies woke up and they're like, whoa, what? You mean we can make money off a good story, DLC, and expansion packs? And now that The Witcher is technically old, it's like they've forgotten again. And it's back to business as usual. Cram some garbage down your throat in hopes that they'll find someone with low impulse control and deep pockets. Gaming used to be an art. Now it's just a city war.
Let's rewind to about a week before launch. It's very easy to love 5 to 10 hours of something, like I did here. It's much harder to love something for 30 to 50. Breakpoint could be one of the fall's biggest surprises. The sentence I keep seeing. But I think it has to be. I think that statement stands whether it's great or terrible. That's from a beta impressions video. It was before the microtransactions were announced, before context. I had fun with the beta for Breakpoint for the couple hours I spent with it. It had problems, but I enjoyed it. But that 5 to 30 hours comment? Well, let's just say I'm thinking of a career in fortune telling. I should have stopped playing after the beta because those 5 hours were the absolute best Breakpoint had to offer. In that video, I made it clear that while fun, the beta felt like a marketing tactic, not a test of the game. And let me tell you now, they're going to need a lot more marketing dollars to convince people this game is worth $60, because if you played the beta, you've played Ghost Recon Breakpoint. As always, footage will be kept to the first half of the game to avoid spoilers, but I think it's best to start with the most pressing issue. I almost couldn't make this video because the game literally would not let me. If I sound more perturbed than usual in this piece, it's because I am. On both PC and console, this game is in a totally unacceptable state, and believe it or not, it got worse from the beta to now. On PC, I almost had to stop playing the game. Like I said, I almost could not cap this footage. This game hard crashed my PC 11 times. Again, that means it forced my PC to shut down, which is very bad for it, by the way, 11 times. The game application crashed 4 times for a total of 15 crashes. In my years of PC gaming, I have never had a game hard crash my PC more than a single time. Ever. I can't even begin to explain to you the state your game needs to be in that massive of an issue. The frame rate? Yep, same place as the beta. Still god-awful, at times on both PC and console. And when I say awful, I mean the weather effects alone appear to be causing the game issues. So imagine what can happen when you're in the middle of a firefight with, actual enemies. Better yet, the problems from the beta that were more specific aren't just still there, they are again exacerbated.
On our surveillance drone, if you can find those reports, it'll, give me an in on how to hack the AI.
This happened to me multiple times on both PC and console. The game freezing? Yep, that is still there, and while I disagree with others in that I actually think the facial animation work here is quite good, the character creation system is just grotesque. Something I didn't bother writing about for the beta, but now that I've had to stare at my created character for longer than a few sittings, I'm almost hoping the game turns into a roguelike so I never have to see him again after my next death. And to be clear, these problems are not my PC. The hard crashing has occurred on PS4 as well, and every other problem are the only things cross-platform about this game. And for those wondering, I'm running a 2080 Ti and an i9 Extreme, a top-of-the-line PC. No excuses. Even things like the suppressors not actually working or having any tangible effect on half of the weapons is a carryover problem from the beta. What I find most disgusting about this is something I referenced in that beta video. They didn't seem to care that the game was broken before launch. Or they simply felt the need to push it out for monetary reasons before it was ready. There's no other explanation for the beta